All right, so let's go live on YouTube. Is that the plan? Are we live on YouTube right now? We are live on YouTube. Let me just quickly reroute everything here because that's horrible. I told everybody we're on Facebook. No, we're now on YouTube because Facebook didn't work. So for all those people that are already listening, bear with me for 2 seconds as I switch gears, get everybody over to the YouTube because we have a problem. We have a serious problem here. We're stuck. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Tell people. Okay, we could not go live on Facebook. Facebook hates us. So we're over on our YouTube. Swipe up right now. It'll take you directly to the YouTube stream. Come join me and Andy as we talk about condoms, virtual influencers, Lush cosmetics, all that's going down right now. So swipe up. See you on YouTube. Not Facebook. YouTube. Not Facebook. YouTube. Okay. Wow. Okay, so let's just start the show. While I do this, tell us, what are we talking about today? What's going on? Okay. Welcome everybody to the show. Make sure you force them to subscribe. Make sure you force them to do everything that we need them to do.
Hello everybody, this is Co-Talks again. This time we are showing up on YouTube. This is our almost weekly live streaming / podcasting session where we talk about digital marketing and social media related topics. This time I'm here with our CEO.
That's me,
Chris Kubb&co, and we're going to discuss digital, or actually virtual influencers.
Virtual influencers / digital influencers, yeah.
Yes, constant condoms, and the latest constant condom campaign that went viral.
It sounds like you're saying constant condom, like
constant.
the condom is on all the time. Are you sure it's not? I think it's called consent.
Consent.
Yeah.
Consent condoms.
Not constant condoms. We do
consent condoms.
The condom that never leaves your body.
And Lush Cosmetics, or actually it's Lush Cosmetics UK department's retreat from social media.
Yeah. What do you want to jump into first? I think the Lush Cosmetics, we can jump into that really quickly because I think there's a lot to say about that. If you're not in the know, but this kind of hit social media hard the last couple of days, which is Lush Cosmetics in the UK has basically retreated from some of their social channels. Not all. I don't think they've said all of them. They haven't actually outlined even all of them.
They said all social media channels.
Did they say all? I think it's just said some of their social media channels.
No, actually, Lush is retreating on every UK brand's social media channels. So it's not only like Lush Cosmetics, but also like Lush Kitchen and also like all the other brands, like sub brands of Lush.
Just in the UK though?
Yeah, in the UK.
Okay. So they said, we're getting the heck out of here. We don't want to battle with algorithms anymore. We want to have conversations with our customers.
Yeah, they said that they want conversations.
So check us out on our website instead, where you can chat with us.
But what do they offer? Like, how do you get in touch with them?
Like chat, or just they're basically saying like, we're not here anymore, bro. Go find us on our website.
What do you think about it? Do you think it's a smart move?
Okay, there's things that I like about this and there's things that I don't like about this.
Okay.
I like the attention it's getting now. Yeah. We're talking about it. I don't know if it's negative or positive. But I mean, this is a no turning back. This is like super hypocritical if they come back to social.
I think they will come back.
And I think that's why they said like some of our channels, because who knows what the future holds for social. Like if TikTok is really massive for selling Lush Cosmetics in the future or whatever that is. So I think like they're leaving it kind of open. I don't think they've said all social media for all time. They're just saying like right now. So I think they're leaving a way out, which is probably smart. But here's the thing. I think there's things that I like about this. I think obviously like on the social media agency side, we see that it's getting harder, specifically on specific channels. It is a pay to play in most cases for Facebook, for example.
Especially nowadays. Also on Instagram.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that what's going on. So I think a lot of brands feel somewhat slighted, somewhat tricked. Like, hey, we spent all this money, time, energy, building an awesome community, and now you're significantly reducing our... And we've seen this. I mean, some inside baseball here, as we call it, like behind the scenes, is like we've seen customers' organic reach drop drastically over the last
It's pretty dramatic.
12 to 18 months, and that's basically because of Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's
Algorithm changes.
algorithm changes. So I think that's unfortunate, and a lot of brands are trying to figure out what the heck they do in that world now.
Yeah.
And I think some of them are saying, man, should we just reduce this then? Because if we and our do we take a stand against Facebook? And I think that's a little bit absurd, but should we take a stand and just not be here in this channel? So I kind of
boycott Facebook.
Yeah, I kind of applaud I'm a rebel at heart, so I kind of applaud that sort of stuff. But I also think that it's a little bit of a pussy move. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's like, we can't do this, so Johnny,
I think it's a ballsy move.
Yeah,
though.
just 1 second though. Are we live still?
We are live.
Are we still live? Okay, seems like we're not.
I'm streaming.
You're streaming. Okay. So I think that's, I think it's a retreat. I think it's a very much like, oh man, we can't figure this thing out.
So
we don't know what to do.
it.
So we're just going to leave, right? So I think it's a little bit of a cop out. I think it's a little bit of a, oh man, we can't figure this out, so screw it. And
But
I
wait,
don't.
wait, because do you know how was their performance before they left?
I have no idea if it was working or not.
Because Lush was like pretty much trending at some point, and they went viral with all those dissolving bubble bath stuff and everything. It was kind of like fascinating to look at it, and those
Their
videos
content looked good.
Yeah, the content.
It was like some of the
popped up.
satisfactory type content.
Yeah, it's
Right,
kind of
it's
like
like- it's like-
ASMR.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, watch
Yeah.
us mix all this gooey stuff, and
Yeah,
it looks exciting. So I don't know if it was performing well, but sometimes it's not about that. Sometimes it's about performing well compared to what?
Yeah, okay, true.
Like, you know what I mean? If it's not
Like the
growing,
competition.
yeah, if it's not growing, if they
Then
have,
it's
but
losing.
I mean, at the same token, I would say advertising on Facebook is ridiculously cheap.
It is.
Reaching your audience is pretty cheap compared to other things, right? Like if they were going to run print ads,
Jesus,
right,
that's
or
expensive.
television ads for every piece of content to
Yeah.
reach every customer they did, that would cost a fortune. So we've, you know what I mean? We've gotten a little bit not soft, like we've gotten a little bit spoiled actually.
Yes,
by
we
having
were.
we have these very cheap options now
Yeah,
when it comes to
it was even
ads.
cheaper before.
Yeah, and it was way cheaper on Facebook before and Instagram and all these places. So it's getting more expensive, but it's still not at the same level that it was years and years ago. So I just think it's a little bit like, oh man, we give up,
Yeah,
right? Instead of like, okay, great, we'll switch strategies then. Like you have to evolve, you have to adapt. They're evolving into, okay, we're not going to do social, we're going to throw everything out, and I think that's kind of disrespectful to your audience.
because you're gonna just leave them there hanging.
Yeah, it is leaving them hanging in some
Yeah.
ways, right? So I think that's a bit sad.
In my opinion, it's just a publicity stunt. Like they just need people to listen to them, and they just need people to pay attention.
You think that's what it is? So you think
Yeah.
they're going to come back?
I think they're going to come back.
How do you think they're going to come back? Are they going to come back?
I have no idea about it because that's a kind of like, I think leaving and like doing this stunt is kind of like a ballsy move. So if you are about to come back, then you really need to like bring something to the table that's going to be like, bam, it was worth it.
Okay.
I think maybe it's a way to channel those people to their like unified international account.
Yeah.
I really see it as like a stunt / strategic move.
Yeah, I think it's a good
um,
stunt.
I think it's going to be like.
Do you know any
leading up
others
to
who have done
something.
this? I can't think of any off the top of my head, but
No, not really. I never heard of any like major brand that was like, okay, fuck social. We're gonna just quit.
I think it's going to happen more and more. Do you think it's going to happen more and more?
Yeah. I actually, I had a lecture about post media.
Yeah.
And about how things are going to go down.
Yeah.
And how we are, returning back to print, and how people are starting.
Oh, you
to,
think people are returning to print?
Yeah, kind of like
That's
people are
interesting.
starting to appreciate like physical products more and more as this like whole internet depression kind of comes on.
Yeah.
And then as there will be a post media phase
Yeah.
which means that there will be still media, but people are kind of like moving to post media,
Right.
which are magazines and like physical products.
When was the last time you read a magazine?
I think it was no, it was actually this Tuesday. I was on the airport and I was like reading a French magazine. I was pretending that I know French.
Why were you pretending to know French?
I don't know. I wanted to try it out. I wanted to try it out how it would sound in my head, you know, when you try to read French. Have you ever... Do you speak French? Are you from Canada?
Oui, monsieur.
Ooh.
Ça va bien?
So, yeah, bien.
Bien? God. Oh, and I'm speaking Danish. And I'm putting Danish and French together. It's no, I don't actually speak a lot of French.
Okay.
I can say like je m'appelle Chris.
Yeah, okay. I can say that too.
And je suis un robot.
Je suis un robot.
I am a robot.
Je suis is like I am.
Yep.
Oh.
Je suis robot. I have no idea.
Okay,
Someone should comment here if my French is any good. But dans la maison.
What?
Dans la maison.
Dans la maison.
In the house.
Oh, that's cool. Kubb&co de la maison.
Dans maison. Maison.
Dans
Like
maison.
almost like mansion. Maison.
Oh,
maison.
okay. Like
Yeah.
maison.
That's in the house. Kubb&co.
Okay. So, anyways, last time I read a magazine was on Tuesday. What
Okay.
about you? Do you read books?
No. I mean, I flip through a book, coloring book every once in a while. No, I do a lot of audiobooks. I do.
So you believe in the audiobooks?
Oh, I love audiobooks.
For
But
me, it's not working.
For me, it works brilliant, man. But I have a
Really?
commute. I have a long
okay.
commute.
Yeah.
The
so it's
hour-long
like-
commute gets me into the audiobook pretty
Oof.
fast. So I think, yeah. I mean, my wife came home with a Euroman the other
Oh.
day that she got for free,
Really?
and it's still sitting there. I didn't even
It's
bought
a
like
cool magazine, no?
yeah, but I still haven't even opened it. I mean, like, I think once Playboy decided that we're out of this game of,
Yeah.
I was like, what? Print is definitely dead. When Playboy decides to not do Playboy stuff anymore, you're like, okay, it's over, bro. It's over.
But didn't Playboy, like, you know, when Hugh Hefner handed over to
His sons, yeah.
Yeah, then Playboy kind of went to, like...
Just articles.
Yeah, and there were, like, no nudity or nothing.
No. I think they're going back to it. I can't...
I think they
I mean,
should, kind of.
when was the last time anybody bought a Playboy? Like,
I don't even, like, remember, like... No.
have you ever bought a Playboy?
No. I think I was
I've
still...
stolen them.
Yeah, me too, kind of. Oh, my God. I never
So...
bought one.
What's that? No, I don't think I've ever bought one. I'm pretty sure I was onto the hardcore stuff like jugs.
No.
Okay, this is a weird topic. We're going off topic here.
Okay,
Listen,
back to the topic.
back to dying media. So print media is coming back
Yeah.
in some ways, which I think is just a.
Oops.
That's just a. Watch what you're doing there, man.
I'm kicking
That's.
the
I think
table.
that's just a. There's always okay. Listen, like for example, back in the day when there was all these cowboy movies, right?
Yes.
Cowboy movies were big in Western movies and stuff, and everything was directed towards that. But then, after a while, there started to become the anti-hero story,
Yeah, that's also
right?
true.
So you always have these sort of build-ups, right? So you have like now, I mean, Deadpool's a prime example of we had a whole bunch of Marvel movies, a whole bunch, and then we have this off-kilter
Anti-hero, yeah.
sort of thing that's left of center. And I think that's what's happening with print media's resurgence. But it could never match the superhero movie. It's only going
Yeah.
to be one-offs. It's only going to be offshoots of
Outliers.
rebellious, stuff that sort of has to
Yeah, I
come,
agree with that.
that sort of has to balance it in some ways. So I think, and then you'll see things move that way for a little while. Like you'll see
Yeah.
the anti-hero story come up. And you'll see more and more of that, I think, in the hero space or whatever, or the like Marvel movie universe sort of thing. And I think that's what's happening with print media. So we're seeing people go that way just because. But here's a question I have for you: if you could shut down, let's say, okay, wait a second, which social media channel would you delete today? If you had to
Facebook.
you'd delete Facebook. I would do the same.
Yeah, Facebook.
Yeah.
It has like the lowest ROI. I
Yeah.
think.
For you.
Yeah, for me. And I'm
Yeah.
not using Twitter. If I would use Twitter,
Yeah.
I would delete Twitter first.
You would delete Twitter? I love my Twitter.
You love Twitter?
Yeah, I love Twitter.
It works well for you.
I think it works great.
I think for It's a great channel for personal branding, I think.
I think it's a great channel for a lot of things. I don't know how Twitter makes money, but because their ad
They're still
platform is
negative,
crap,
right?
I think they're losing money every.
Shit.
But Johnny in the back, our technician, what would you choose? What would you delete?
Delete the Facebook right away.
Facebook, the
Although
three.
for the business, it's
3 for 3 people. Facebook going
Facebook.
down hard. What's the second one you would get rid of?
I know you hate me for this one, but LinkedIn, I think it's a little fake.
LinkedIn. Johnny says LinkedIn. Taking shots at LinkedIn. We need one of those trigger warning. Blah blah blah. We need the shots fired.
Okay, I would never delete my Instagram. I think
You will want to. Eventually, it will get that way.
I put way too much effort into it. So I think it would be hard to leave it behind. Maybe I would go to LinkedIn as well, like deleting it.
Yeah. Okay. I just got some stats here that might be interesting to our previous discussion. What is this going on? New York Times has apparently had millions of new subscriptions last year in online subscriptions. Yes. But how much is their print?
But okay, maybe
Print's
it's not,
way down, but they're online. But I mean, that's.
But what
great.
if post media is going to be like digital print? So like these digital magazines and
Yeah, but that's
yeah.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about the physical printing thing is going.
But Kinfolk was going on like
down.
a pretty big journey. Like Kinfolk was really trending.
What's that?
Kinfolk?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's a lifestyle magazine.
Okay.
Also,
I still think there's some like niche ones.
Yeah. I think they are like kind of like talking to these two people who are trying to establish this like still kind of like slow living thing.
Yeah. But so the second one you would kill is what?
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
But
LinkedIn.
But I don't know because like
So we got 2 votes for LinkedIn.
I only use Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. So kind of like if it would be like the second one, then I would be like, oh man, I would never actually delete my Instagram, so I would need to delete LinkedIn.
I think mine would definitely be Snapchat.
I don't use Snapchat at the moment.
Like I have it. I have an account, but I think I would just like get rid of that. I don't think I'm not prepared to get rid of my LinkedIn. My LinkedIn's pretty valuable for me. I will say this though, and this is I don't like to talk about it, but it's what happens. There's something called the Gary V effect.
Yeah, okay.
Which basically means like Gary V runs towards a platform, does a whole bunch of promotion on it, and then we have a whole
bunch of people,
wave of people that get on that platform, and I believe they're somewhat like locusts.
Yeah.
That basically like start doing whatever Gary V's done, and it gets to be, and I'm probably another one to blame. I basically did the same thing on Instagram, but you know what I mean? Like, so I think that's also what's happening on LinkedIn right now. We have just a ton of people that are basically doing the same thing, not really adding a lot of value, unfortunately, to my feed. And I'm basically now spending most of my time in Sales Navigator, which is an offshoot product of LinkedIn, what basically like allows me to filter everybody and only see the content from people that I are doing business with or want to do business with. So like my go-to now is like I'm trying to stay away from the LinkedIn feed because I just find that it's too distracting and I don't see anything that's adding true value, and then going to my Sales Navigator and spending a lot of time there. So I mean that's where I think
it would be so awesome if LinkedIn has this premium feature, right? It would be so cool if they could come up with like a new algorithm that would be able to filter out content that is actually truly valuable for you.
Yeah, but I think they will get that, but it's
so it would be like kind of they would have like
that's essentially what Facebook has done. Like Facebook has basically said, okay, here's our algorithm, but not and maybe not in the premium version. Maybe that would push people to do it, but I think that
I think it would be successful on LinkedIn because there are like 70% of LinkedIn users earn more than more than $90,000 a year. So they kind of have money.
Yeah, so they want to spend on it.
And they kind of feel like their well-being and their time is precious, especially the time that they spend on like online.
Yeah.
They're working. They are mostly managers or like people who are sitting in offices.
Yeah. And most of their companies will pay for that too.
Yeah, also.
It's like I wouldn't pay for somebody's like premium Facebook page
Yeah.
or Facebook account, but I would pay for like if you wanted a premium account, I would say, yeah, let's put it on the company credit card.
Yeah.
So I think, but that's interesting. That would be a good money making solution for LinkedIn.
So LinkedIn, check this out.
Yeah, LinkedIn. Here we've solved your business problems. So okay, so you would kill LinkedIn. Johnny would kill LinkedIn. I would kill Snapchat. And I'd like to hear if anybody's watching. Comment below. What is your which social media network would you kill first? So comment here on YouTube. If you're listening to this, obviously as a podcast, comment nowhere. Just listen. We don't want to hear. Just DM me. That'll be your comment. It'll come weeks later, months later, 5 years later. I'll get it. 5 years later, someone will be listening to the podcast and be like, they'll just DM me Facebook. I'll be like, what is going on? Why are people DMing me random social medias? It'd be like, and 5 years will be like, wow, remember Facebook? No, I don't think it's gonna get
phones?
that back. You remember? Yeah, exactly. Remember, it's like the DM goes straight into my brain. So those of you watching on the live stream, comment below. Comment now. What is your chosen one? What would you kill? I see a lot of people that are not commenting, so I guess nobody cares.
How many viewers do we have?
0. No. No. We have a few. We have 8. And they're probably they're probably like,
the entire Kubb&co team.
Yeah, it's basically the Kubb&co team back there.
That's good.
Except for Danny. Danny would never watch.
Danny is like such an anti-hero.
He's a communist.
Yeah.
So Danny the communist is probably not watching. Let's talk about the next thing, which is hit social media, which I think is an interesting topic, which kind of leads into more PR stunts. Actually, we got 2 other PR stunts here, which I think is interesting to talk about. The consent condoms that has sort of blown up on social media. Everybody's talking about it. What do you think about this campaign? Is it a brilliant campaign? Does it fit a PR stunt, or what's your thinking on it?
I think it fits a PR stunt because it has a clear issue that it's addressing, and it's a social cause. So they are clearly targeting and like trying to tackle this thing.
Yes.
I think the execution and like the product itself is rather
Short-sighted.
hideous. Yeah, short-sighted.
Yeah,
I would say. I think it's rather funny and it's not lifelike.
Right.
But
it creates a conversation.
Yes, it creates a conversation. It raises awareness of the issue, and if it's not like if their overall goal is not to actually sell this product, but to raise awareness and to kind of try to move on to this cause and like make it their own, then I think they're doing a great job.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's like when I first saw it, I was like, okay, this is dumb.
Yeah.
This is really silly because, this is not how,
Sex
in my
works.
mind, that's not really how sex works. Granted, I am married and don't have much, so I can't, things have changed now, I hear that people are doing it on beds now. I'm like, wow, that's new. So I don't really... So I don't really like have a big opinion about consent so much, but I just thought from a PR stunt thing, it works, it creates conversation. But at the same time, it's like, how short-lived is that conversation? Do you think we're going to be talking about, like max, right? So I just worry about these sort of outrage marketing dialogue, not dialogue.
Like tactics.
These tactics of just straight-up PR stunts that don't actually turn into...
You never know. They might be like coming out with stuff that will follow up on it. If they are good at executing and if they actually have this strategy and if they didn't just get lucky with like going viral on this.
Right.
Then they might have like a strategy and like they might do a follow-up and they might actually establish like a whole campaign around this that will be like maybe 1 to 3 months long. You never know.
Never know.
Probably it will be
you're
1 week long.
It could come out.
But if they would be like really smart people,
they
would do like a whole campaign around this and they would really make this cause their own
Right.
And we know we're a bunch of new customers.
Right. Okay. So so we believe what's our verdict?
Our verdict is that
yay or nay, hot or
yay.
condoms.
I do not know about that.
He does not know about this. You got to have 4 hands to do it. Which could be...
Maybe other people didn't hear about it, and maybe someone listens to the podcast like...
Should we give... Okay, so we
Yeah,
already
okay,
went through
so
this,
what-
but we
yeah.
didn't know what exactly is this. This is a campaign that was run by BBDO, and I believe... I forget the name of the brand name. That's how good this campaign was. I can't even remember the brand name.
Lipton or something like that. Tulip.
Yeah, Tulipa. Isn't it Tulipa?
Tulipa, yeah.
So, yes, and it's been blowing up the last couple of days. Mashable did something that said, this is crazy. This is not that good. It's funny how some things happen. Like Mashable did it 5 days ago, and now it's finally hitting CNN.com.
Everything that
It's
Mashable picks up, other news channels will start picking
Yeah,
up
but it
as
really,
well.
it's funny that it takes a few days. Like it's so, and then, I think that's when it's hitting the mainstream. It's like, okay, what the heck? So actually 2 days ago, CNN did this. From a Gianluca Mezzafiora, just broke the news. Another Gianluca, Johnny. It takes 4 hands to open this new condom. It comes in a box that you actually need to do this by an Argentinian company. It's called the Consent Pack of Condoms. Was designed by BBDO Argentina for Tulipan, a company which sells adult toys and condoms. If it's not a yes, it's a no. That's the slogan. Without consent, there is no pleasure, says the tagline in the promotional video, along with the hashtag permitted pleasure.
Permitted pleasure? That's bad.
That's really bad. They say the tagline reads, consent is the most important thing in sex. Well, yeah, I mean, none of these things that you can't ignore this sort of thing. But the whole consent thing is a messed up thing. You were telling me that there's a law now? Or there's...
Johnny was
saying there's a law...
A proposition.
A proposition. What was that, John? That was like, there's this law that's coming...
About written consent before intercourse.
But is that only Denmark or...
Yeah, in the Danish at least
Okay.
are considering that.
But isn't it like something like, when you get together in like a relationship?
No,
Then-
no, like let's say dating also.
Ah, okay.
How it works, it's unclear, but basically, yeah. Could be
So-
a smart way for people to consent. Let's say I'm going out with people, and then before going out, I press in an app, let's say, that I
Okay.
give consent to have sex.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah.
Nobody
It's
can
not
probably
really
hear
wrong.
this, but...
No, but basically,
Yeah.
before you would go out, you need to like consent in an application or something. The execution of this whole thing would be...
Yeah.
It's still unclear.
There's definitely going to be consent apps that come up where you're like two people, they like Bluetooth each other, and they're like, we have to connect our phones first,
Oh my
sexually. And then
That's
Press
so
a button.
fucked up.
I consent.
I mean, I see.
What
that
happens if the guy doesn't consent? What if the guy, I mean, like, I'm just going to remove my
It's
consent.
always on the girl.
What if you mid-sex unconsent?
No.
Could be. Anyway, it doesn't. Okay, we don't need to go into this topic because it has zero to do with marketing.
We
But-
need like a nightlife show.
A nightlife show. But those of you watching, I know you're not squeamish about this stuff. If you, I'm sure you are dealing with these issues in your life.
I don't know, man.
Anyways, back to. Actually, Danny here did comment that he would love to meet that communist, which is quite funny. Now, going on to our next topic, before we talk about the last thing, which is virtual influencers, I wanted to talk to you about something that happened to you yesterday.
Oh my god, the hot wings.
Yes, the hot wings.
Okay.
You want to tell us a story? How did hot wings come about? And what did we do? How did we do it? What's
Okay.
your feelings about it? Give us the story.
Okay, so this is story time, guys.
Story time. Story time with Andy. Do we need a welcome to story time with Andy?
That could be cool, like a section. But anyways, story time with Andy, guys. Yesterday, we are currently pitching creative video ideas for a client.
Mhm.
These ideas need to be easily executable.
Yep.
and we had multiple ideas, and one of these ideas was that we should try and recreate something that is kind of like Hot Ones like.
Yep.
I assume you all know Hot Ones, but for those who does not know what Hot Ones is, it's a YouTube show where people sit down, mostly famous people sit down with a bald guy and they eat hot wings, and you know, you go on this
Just
channel
any random bald guy?
no, it's Sean Evans.
Yes, Sean Evans.
Actually the show is run by Complex.
Yes, it is.
And they sit down, they eat hot wings. These are like really, really hot wings. There's like a scale 1 to 10. And you can basically watch these people suffer and talk about stuff.
Right.
It's pretty funny. But anyways, we tried to recreate the concept, and we needed to shoot a video to show the client. So Chris,
Yes, me.
and
you.
and me, we were willing to try it, and we how to put this? Well, we ate those wings. They were
We ate those wings, and we asked some questions of each
we asked
other.
some questions of each other.
Yeah.
It
And
was-
tell me, how did it go? What was anything?
I think
how
it
did
went-
it go? How was the first wing?
I think the first 2 wings actually.
The first 2
The
wings.
first 2 wings were all right,
Yes.
but we had a mistake because we didn't know. We didn't taste the sauces before. We put out the sauces, and they were supposed to be like from 1 to 6, like kind of
Yeah.
becoming
Going
more and
hotter
more
and hotter and
intensive
hotter.
in terms of
Yes.
like spices.
And what happened, Andy?
Yeah.
What happened?
We made an error, a mistake, and accidentally we had the hottest sauce ever that I ever tried in my life on the third wing.
Yes.
And as soon as it touched my lips, I felt like
Oh,
this
man.
is something toxic, something that would kill my inside. And oh my god, that stuff was so hot.
It was
Like,
ridiculous.
So hot.
It burned.
Yeah. Oh my god.
It burned. It
We
made
have
me
a video
cry.
of it. We have
have video of it. We'll have to share
At
it.
some point, we're gonna share it with you guys.
Yes.
But
it was brutal.
oh my god! And like the rest, like the 3 like chili claw sauces,
Those were easy.
those were like nothing. I didn't even feel
No.
anything
No.
after the third one. I don't know if it was like because like the third one was so hot that I
Yes.
could like literally not feel
Yes.
or taste anything else.
That's right. It was brutal.
It was insane.
And then we put the last one, if you remember.
Yeah,
You probably
we put-
don't remember. You were probably
No,
in
I
a,
remember it.
in a
because-
stupor of hot-headedness. The last one we actually put
A dab on
a
it.
dab of the really hot
oh
stuff
my god,
on the last one,
that's
And,
so fucked up.
and that was not fun.
No.
It was not a good idea. I did it. Okay, so that's a good. So how was your experience? Was it okay? How did you feel today? How did
It
you
was-
feel afterwards?
Okay. Afterwards, I was like kind of hyped. I feel like it gave me like kind of like an adrenaline shock
Mhm.
thingy. So I kind of
Okay.
felt like
Felt like it was okay.
Yeah, I was hyped. I was okay. I had some milk, and then like we went to the kitchen and ate the rest of the wings with the guys in the office. They all tried this sauce. It's pretty fun. Everyone was like, "Oh my god, this stuff is so hot. I can feel my face." And
Can't feel
so
my
that
face.
that was fun.
I
And then I
can't
was
feel my
just
face when
moving
I'm
on
with
with my
you.
life, but like
Moving on.
kind of
It sounds like you had to go to therapy. I'm moving on with my.
but in like kind of late night / morning,
Yes.
I started to feel like I started to experience really weird stomach cramps.
Yeah.
and well, the bad stuff came down, guys.
The best stuff.
Never do that. Never do that. It's not a cool experience.
No, it's not. So,
It's really bad.
so how are you feeling today, though? You feeling better?
Yeah. I mean, like it comes and goes. I feel like I feel like my stomach and like my digestive system did not recover yet.
No. Okay.
For example, like after lunch, I was like, oh my god, I'm dying. like legit, like I had stomach pain after lunch. It
Yeah.
was really bad. We had this like project manager meeting, and then like I was feeling like I'm gonna just die. But then I had like
I saw you laying on the couch.
Yeah, I had like a glass of Coke, because
That
usually
helped?
my mom says that like Coke kind of helps you digest stuff because it just burns through your body. I don't know. Coke is not healthy.
Burns
right?
through the body.
It's not a healthy thing.
No.
Like if you put an egg into Coke, it kind of like digests it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, also your bones, teeth, everything that's inside you.
Listen to that, folks. Can't wait to get Coca-Cola as a client. Thanks, Andy. I've been working on that account for years. Now it's not going to happen because you're like, Coke.
Okay,
Burns,
we're gonna just cut
burns right through your body. That's their new slogan. Coke. Feel the burn.
Anyways.
And they could get Bernie Sanders.
Actually, that helped. And I really feel like milk yesterday when we were like doing this thing.
Yep.
I thought this is like just like a myth. But milk actually helped for me. I don't
Milk
know how
work.
it was
I
for
think
you.
next time we go ice cream.
Ice cream?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Or beer.
No.
No beer?
No.
Why?
I think beer would be brutal. I think anything with bubbles.
I watched the latest Hot Ones and then like Scarlett Johansson was drinking beer and that helped her.
Okay. Scarlett Johansson was drinking beer on Hot Ones.
Yeah.
Man, she's badass.
She's tough.
She's tough because I don't know what ours was. What Scoville did we get to?
I think it was like
40,000.
We had like the 100% pain sauce.
Yes, 100%.
And then that's like around 40 to 46,000 Scoville. I don't know exactly.
That's nothing.
But that's nothing because like on Hot Ones they go to like 150,000 something Scoville.
Oh my god.
Or
okay.
no because there is.
Isn't
like
it a
one...
million Scoville? What's the hottest?
I think the hottest is. Can you check it right?
Yeah,
here?
hottest.
The hottest is 2
sauce
million. I think.
On Hot Ones is what?
I think that's like the last dab.
Is the last dab is approximately
we need someone who searches stuff for us in the background, like Joe
supposed
Rogan.
It's supposed to be Johnny. Johnny supposed to be searching this stuff.
We need a screen there. Johnny can
It doesn't
put
say. It doesn't actually say. It's made with Carolina Reapers, but it doesn't have. It doesn't say how many Scovilles it is.
I'll just open up a video then. I
Unfortunately.
need to know. Hot Ones.
Heatonist.com products Hot Ones the last dab. It is
2,200,000.
And we were doing 46 and we were like,
did
I'm
46,000 and we were dying.
Carolina Reaper.
out.
So
man.
imagine how tough Scarlett Johansson is.
What was it? What was it? 4 million?
2,200,000.
Ah,
Can you
God, that does
imagine?
not sound good. Like that.
Like,
that-
this is
the
what
amount
this-
of pain. Like, okay, so that was your experience.
Yeah,
You want to know my experience?
Yes, okay,
You wanna hear my
it. Let's hear it.
I had everything the same up to what you're talking about.
Yeah, okay.
So, but at about we ate those wings. I'll tell you what though, I didn't have breakfast.
Oh, okay. I didn't have either. I do intermittent fasting, so I was not.
Oh, so you also had a
Yeah,
okay, so
had
I had
nothing in my
nothing
stomach.
in my stomach.
Yeah.
I had no. I think actually I didn't even eat maybe the night before. Like I was basically like
Okay.
completely empty stomach.
Yeah.
Which was not a good idea.
Yeah. It's.
And I started feeling like about 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
I was feeling.
Did you
like,
have lunch after?
I did have lunch,
Okay,
but I
okay.
didn't. I only had the salmon.
Okay, so you didn't have like actually
I
like
didn't have
any,
like any carbs.
or something.
I just because
Yeah.
I'm trying to do like keto, carnivore
Yeah.
type stuff. So like I had nothing. It was just like straight proteins. And I am also a little lactose intolerant.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was drinking the milk to
Oh.
cool my face off
Yeah.
because it was like burning. And
Bad combo.
bad combo. Seriously bad combo. Like 1 o'clock, I was like, oh my dear Lord. What is going on in my body? I felt like I was going to die. And I left, you remember, like I left the office. I'm like, see you guys.
I was like,
Now
coming-
listen though, listen to this. This is where the story gets interesting.
So you get in your car.
So I get in my car.
and you have 1 hour to go.
And
until you get
I have
home.
about I had a little bit like 40 minutes according to Google. So I thought, okay, that's great. I'll be home in 40 minutes. Driving down the highway,
Oh no.
I was like, uh-oh. This is not, my stomach is not doing well. So I proceed to, instead of going off on my off-ramp, because I know like once I get on the off-ramp to go
Yeah.
on the highway, it's game over. There's nothing.
Yeah.
So instead, I just keep driving. And I'm like, okay, I got to find a place. I was panicking. I was like, I should just pull over on the side of the road. I thought I was going to crap my pants. I was already, listen, I was already trying to figure out how I would clean my car.
Oh my god.
I was already like going through my head.
I would do it with
I was
my
already
socks,
going.
man.
I was already going through my head. Okay, if I shit my pants, how am I gonna clean my car afterwards? Where do I need to? Where do I need to go? Do I have any extra pants? Have I got? I was like, do I have a bag in the back seat, or like, do I have a plastic bag?
Like,
do I have a plastic bag?
in your bag?
Yeah, like, or do I have a plastic bag in the back seat that I could just shit into? Like, I was not prepared.
Oh my god!
I was like, oh my god, I have to pull over. I thought I was. I was like, I went past. I went past the place where I was like, okay, I can definitely. Like, there was like a railing, like that was leading to like a ravine.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I could just squat over the railing. But as soon as I pulled up there and I was like I was legitimately gonna pull over, at the bottom of the ravine there was a building. With an office building with like full glass. So I was like, okay, I can't go here because there's people that are gonna see me. They're gonna see me crap everywhere. I can't do this here, so I just kept driving, and then I got to an off ramp because then I could see off the off ramp that there was a gas station.
Okay.
So I got to an off ramp, like literally, I'm dying, like I'm sweating.
That's like the worst.
I'm like,
feeling.
I thought I'm like, oh no, like this is not good. I thought so I got off and I'm like stopped at the off ramp because so many cars were going, and I was like literally, come on, I was like swearing at these cars. I was like, move it, let's move it. So I pull into the gas station. I get out of my car. I nearly crap myself when I get out of my car. Like, I'm like, oh, I better like, really clench here. I get into the gas station and I think, oh my God, they don't have a toilet here.
No,
because I couldn't see it. It was like a tiny gas station. I'm like, oh my
they need to
Lord. I'm like, I'm just going to crap my pants in this gas station. I don't care anymore. This is not good. Okay? Then I just like take a couple of steps to my right, and all of a sudden I see the beautiful toilet side. The holy side. And I'm just like, I'm praying to God that nobody's in there. I'm praying to God because I would literally bust the door and rip them out of their seat and just sit down. Like, I wasn't gonna mess around. I was literally gonna be like, "Get the hell out of there! I gotta get in there!" Like, I don't like even if there was a garbage can in there, I'd probably do that. Like, I didn't care. Like, I just needed to get in, so I got in.
Oh man!
And destroyed that toilet. Like, just destroyed it. It was not. It was not nice. It was a bad situation. Bad situation. So I spent about 20 minutes in there. I'm like really. I was praying. I was like, so please, no more. I was praying. Hopefully nobody's waiting for this toilet. Thankfully nobody was, which was amazing. But I was in there for a good little while. I think the attendants were probably like, should we go check on that guy? Is he doing drugs in there or something? Like, what is going on? So, but I got out, and I felt like horrible. I felt just absolutely horrible. I was sweaty. I was
but
just.
It would have been like a safe choice to just stay in the office,
Yeah, I know. It didn't. It just hit me on the highway. I was like, I felt bad, but I wasn't feeling like, oh no, this is gonna be later bad. Like, and so I got on the highway perfectly fine, and then like, oh no, this is not okay.
That's crazy.
So I should have stayed, and that's what I thought. But I thought, okay, if I would have stayed, you guys would have heard some really bad. Like, you guys would have been like, "Is Chris dying? We should probably call the ambulance again." So yeah. So and then I got back in my car, and I drove home, and I had the worst night ever. Like literally, man. I was down. I was out for the count. I was like. I had to crawl up in the fetal position and basically just hold my stomach and try to fall asleep.
Oh, man.
And then I was supposed to go, and the sad thing is I was supposed to go to a spring party for my kid's school, right? Yeah. That had been planned for months, and I was just like, honey, I can't go. And she's like, oh man.
That's great.
So she was upset with me, but I had the worst night.
And we wanted to give this task to people.
Yeah, we wanted to like make this a package for our clients. So I realized last night
like 100% of pay.
Yeah, well, I was like last night while I was in the fetal position, I realized this is not a good concept. This is a very bad concept. We cannot sell this to any client.
Imagine Sean Evans. This dude is doing it for like 100 episodes or something. Like that.
Like he must just sit like he's probably got like a catheter in his ass that's just like out to a toilet somewhere. Like how can Scarlett Johansson live after this? She must go home and be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like
does anybody tell these stories about after Hot Ones? They should make a documentary series after Hot Ones.
After Hot Ones.
Like where it's like, man, like I died. I think I've been reborn.
But I heard that like I listened to one of these like Sean Evans interviews with on the H3H3 podcast. I think it's a pretty cool interview. And he was like, some of the guests actually they either tap out. Some of the guests start throwing up after the show. Some of the guests needs to actually go to sleep right after. And of course, like majority of people just go to the toilet and like unpack it.
Unpack it.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Take a shit.
Oh, I'm not used to this slang, boy. Anyways, so that's my Hot Ones-esque.
Yeah.
So don't people.
I think it was a cool
don't
idea.
Do Hot Ones at home.
I was like when we got to like doing it, I was like, this is so cool. This is like so cool.
And then you're like, this is not cool. This is not cool. I want to go home. I want to go home. This is not cool. I'm scared. Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah.
It was, I'm glad I don't want to ever do that.
It's an interesting experience.
I don't want to ever.
I really feel like I'm proud. I'm proud because we kind of like, we did it all the way through and like, it was.
Yeah, but
for me, it was like the spiciest thing that I ever tried. Like
that third one.
That third one, yeah.
Yeah. So like the sad thing is that none of these have their Scoville thing on them. It's hard to tell which one's the hottest.
Yeah.
I thought the Chili Klaus ones were going to be the hottest because I've had a couple of Chili Klaus ones
as well.
The Chili Klaus chocolates are also ridiculously hot.
Yeah, we had the Christmas calendar in the office.
Yeah.
And that was like, I had like they were like from 1 to 18, I think. And I had like one that was 15. And I almost threw up after. That was like kind of like really.
Yeah, so we only went to 8, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think there's a ways to go before it gets ridiculous.
Can you imagine the amount of pain?
Yeah, I don't want to. I think at some point your tongue, your mouth gets numb, and you're just like, okay, let's do this.
But it was like kind of like burning my lips in like a really weird way.
Yeah, it was burning my tongue and my throat.
Yeah,
like a couple of times. Like if you don't, it can get bad when you just try to chuck it back.
Yeah.
And try to like miss everything because you're just
to chuck
gonna
it back?
Like I tried to just like one of the wings that we had afterwards. I just tried to eat it without it touching anything, which is like, okay, what? How do you do that? But basically like an oyster, like you know what I mean. But then the hot sauce all just touched the back of my throat, and that was even worse. It was like So the back of my throat is like it hurt every time I breathed.
But I remember the
breath.
I remember the point when like you were like I was just like having the first bite of the third one, and I was like, oh shit, like right away, and then you started laughing, and like one second after you start laughing, you were like, oh.
But I was laughing because I knew what was gonna happen. I was like, oh man, this is gonna.
No, you did not expect that it will be so bad at the third one. Did you expect that?
No, it's got a time delay thing.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, how do they even do that in a hot sauce? Like, how do they create that? It's coming.
Yeah.
Like, how do they create that? Like, that's so weird.
I think it's just in the pepper. Like,
they just choose the right. They just know these peppers are this.
The garlic ones are kind of like, straight away. It's kind of sour and will hit you.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to.
But speaking of hot sauces and chicken wings.
Okay.
This goes to our next thing, and that's why I put this one in. You see the segue here?
Okay, no, I did not.
Chicken. What's the next thing?
Chicken?
KFC.
Oh, like
now
that.
Now you feeling me?
Oh man. We need to do this podcasting more often.
Get with the program. So after our chicken poop stories, those go together. We have to talk about KFC released their latest campaign, which is a virtual influencer, which is a pretty cool development. I don't know if you've been following. We've been following the virtual influencer thing for a little while now.
Yeah.
We've been deep diving into it more and more recently for some client projects, which I think is exciting.
It's super exciting.
Tell us about the virtual influencer market or industry? Where is it going? Because you've actually got some pretty in-depth study on this.
So
tell us about the KFC thing first.
Okay. So the KFC thing is that KFC normally runs its Instagram account as if it would be the Colonel's Instagram account.
The Colonel.
The Colonel, yeah. Can you check actually what's his exact name? I don't know.
I'll find out. Oh, you mean Colonel Sanders?
Yeah, Colonel Sanders.
Colonel Sanders, yeah.
Yeah. They're running it as if it would be his Instagram account. And they're doing different kind of fun campaigns. Usually, they're trying to always reflect on current and ongoing trends within digital marketing, within social media.
Right.
And there is this trend of virtual influencers lately.
What is a virtual influencer?
A virtual influencer is basically a CGI person who has a social media account and a personality paired up with this CGI person. And the whole trend was kind of starting out with Lil Miquela, who is like the most well-known virtual influencer. She is a 20-year-old Brazilian Spanish.
Yeah. Is that her thing?
Yeah.
Spanish.
Brazilian.
She would be Portuguese.
No, Brazilian Spanish, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but
Brazilian, half Spanish. That's what she's saying. Virtual influencer. She has approximately 1.5 million followers on Instagram, and she is created by Brood.
Yeah.
And there are different theories in terms of like, okay, what is this project about? Is it going to lead up to something bigger or not? Is it a publicity stunt? Is it an art project that grown to like a tremendous amount and gained attention, or is it something completely else?
Pretty compelling. We don't know where the little Michaela stuff's going, but I think it's a very interesting case study into virtual influencers, and we're expecting a bigger story to come out of this.
I do.
We don't know what it's going to be, but it seems a little like, okay, this thing's growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's leading to a music career for somebody.
Yeah, she's moving into music slowly, and I think she just dropped a new track on the 10th of April, and I think it's already ranking #1 in Apple Music.
Right. So this is pretty crazy. I mean, if you really think about it, these people don't exist. They are controlled by a team. They're made, and it's almost like, well, I guess like every music star has a team behind them, or every actor has a team behind them, or every influencer somewhat has a team behind them if they're big enough.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not the team or the thing behind them. I don't think anybody cares if there's a thing behind it, but it's interesting that this whole, virtual influencer, this whole like something that doesn't exist in real life is actually taking steam, is actually like quite popular.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. Do you think it's not a complaint, but do you think it's a commentary on the influencer marketing thing? Do you think it's do you think that KFC and those guys are kind of making fun of influencers?
Yeah, I think KFC is kind of, just making something that is relating to this trend, and kind of like, I'm not sure if they are like mocking it on purpose, but it seems a little bit like mockery.
Right.
So the Colonel seems like a fun persona. It's not like, it seems like they're not taking this whole thing completely seriously, but on the same level, it's still like very professionally executed, and the copywriting is done like in a really nice way.
Right.
So it's kind of like a half serious, half fun thing.
Okay.
And
so it's poking fun. It's like almost like we talked about Deadpool. Deadpool's like satire. So this is actually satire.
Yeah, a little bit, I think.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think that all of them have to be satire then going forward?
No.
They could be serious things.
Yeah, I think they can be. Like, for example, this whole thing comes from, of course, that like, if you have like a real brand ambassador, then if that brand ambassador does something stupid, or it turns out that brand ambassador is racist or anything, then it will backlash on your brand.
But that would never happen.
But that will never happen with a fully controlled digital persona that you created. And you have
unless
all these...
you create a racist one. which would also be funny if someone's
Blacko
we can't take any credit for this. The thing is, I got an AI behind it. It decided to be racist.
Yeah, Blacko is pretty racist.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Blacko?
Blacko?
Blacko or whatever his name is?
Yeah. BLA.
But but it's comedy.
Yeah, it's comedy. It's comedy.
Right.
It's like, hey, yo.
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Yeah, this is robot ass. What's up, man?
It's supposed to.
It's pretty fun,
supposed
though.
to be. It's supposed to be comedy, right? So
Yeah,
it's taken in a different way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blacko is like the perfect example of satire, like using these influencers in terms of satire.
Okay.
I think the Lil Michaela thing is very very close to reality, and I think Brood is doing a really great job in terms of managing her and managing her personality and building up like a whole universe around her. They brought alive 2 other digital or like virtual influencers, Bermuda and Blacko, and they used these other personas to create context and to create a world and to build this world around Lil Michaela. And Lil Michaela is living in her own bubble, but she's posing with other real people,
right,
and like other influencers.
It's pretty creepy.
It's pretty creepy, but at the same point, it's like
she's
doing what. We don't care, and she's doing what another completely average influencer would do.
Right.
So I think it's pretty impressive. And in terms of word building, I think Brood is doing an extremely cool job because, you know, they're building up like a whole world that like their target audience can turn to, and, you know, they can immerse themselves in it. And they, like, I dived into it. I did like some social listening. I checked those comments.
Yeah.
People love them.
Yeah. Do you know what I think is going to be interesting? And I think this is the saving grace for it. And I think this is why I like it. And I'll tell you why I think it's, and not from a marketing standpoint, even though that's interesting to us and interesting to me, but from a society standpoint, it feels right. And I'll tell you why. And you'll be like, okay, what the hell? Why does virtual influencers,
I'm curious now.
Why is it better for society? And I'll tell you this, because there's been a large amount of incidents, or I would say increase, in particularly young girls with self-esteem, depression, anxiety issues, self-harm issues. And some people are attributing this to social media.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I don't know the full date on it, and I think that comes from like back when we were kids, or at least when I was a kid, because I'm a lot older than you, but back when I was a kid, when you saw newspapers or magazines or people on TV, they were actors. They were models. They were people that were like on a different level. You weren't necessarily thinking about them as your peers. You were like, okay, that's Jennifer Aniston. She can look super awesome. Or, you know, or this famous, like, I obviously wanted to be Jennifer Aniston, apparently. No, like, if I was looking, like, you were looking at models on TV, or, and your self-esteem wasn't as hurt as much as, because it was like, that's an actor.
Yeah, because that's
their job. There's a gap. There's like a major gap. Social media, what it's done now is like, everybody's living their best life on social media, and they're your peers. They're the people you know. They're the people, like, so girls are, like, what they've suggested is that girls are seeing all their friends or people that they know that like present this highlight reel on social media, and they say, okay, you know, that's not my life. I'm not that pretty.
Yeah.
I don't have those filters.
So like pressure builds up.
Yeah. So the pressure builds up, right? And they're like, I can't, you know what I mean? So the thing that I like about virtual influencers is it goes back to that.
Yeah. And gives this like perception gap again.
You get a gap. You get this, this is a person that's been CGI'd, and nobody's everyone's been very clear about it. This is not a real person. This is fake.
Lil Michaela is admitting it, like she's a robot. Right,
which I think is very interesting, because as more and more virtual influencers come up,
it's very interesting the point that you're taking.
We create a more gap, and we go back to this is a different person. This isn't somebody that you should compare yourself to, because it doesn't exist. We are making it. So I think that's really good for self-esteem. I think it's really good for society on a whole. Yeah. And I think what's going to end up happening is you're going to see more and more people gravitating towards these things, because when you consume Little Michaela's content, you don't feel bad about yourself. Yeah, you feel good about yourself. Yeah. Which is different when I think if you look at Kylie Jenner or you look at these things, because you're like, oh man, she's 21 and a billionaire, and she's got a nice, like she had all this plastic surgery, so she looks like really hot.
And little Michaela on the other side is just basically a Sims character that's presented on Instagram. Yeah.
And you don't think that you have to live up to those expectations.
That's
and you
true.
shouldn't. So I really think like, and I think that's why, if we want to break it down to of course there's novelty in it, that it's cool technology, and that's, but I think
awesome.
if you want to break down the psychological reasons for somebody wanting to follow somebody like that, a virtual influencer, is because it really fits into that narrative. It really, you can consume the content without feeling
I agree with
like
that.
you're bad, you feel bad about it. So I really think like that's going to be really awesome for people to do. And if they can make fun of, if they can do it in a tongue-in-cheek way, if they can kind of do it in a, I'm not like, which little Michaela has, like, I'm not real.
Little Michaela is like
robot.
quite perfectly executed, to be honest.
It's perfectly executed.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting. It's going to be a massive case study for branding and business for years to come. Like, how did they do this? But they did it without any, the funny thing is like, we'll see where it lands, but I think they did it with no intention of commercialization. I don't think that they were thinking that this is something we can sell or do. Like, I think they just thought, this is an art project.
Yeah.
This is something neat. Can we
see
do
where
it?
it will go?
And let's see where it's go.
Yeah.
And now it's gone massive. And now they're just running with it. And they're like, okay, we'll figure this thing out later.
Yeah, I think, like, you know, what I can see now is that in the future it will connect with other trends, and it will become like, you know, a combo thing.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, as like voice control and voice search and all these things are immersing, I think at some point now these influencers also have voices. For example, Lil Michaela is moving into music and all that. And, you know, at some point, maybe even the Colonel
will branch out.
He will branch out and he will have a voice as well.
Yeah.
Maybe he will start having his show on YouTube or whatever.
Maybe
Because
he'll do a podcast.
KFC, podcast maybe. KFC has the budget to actually do a CGI show on like a monthly basis, or or like even like on a weekly basis, if they will have like enough exposure and enough like, you know, ROI out of it.
They could do some fun stuff with it.
Yeah, but in the end, KFC will ultimately end up with having a fully human-like brand ambassador that they are completely in control of, and that will have a voice as well. So it will be kind of like, you know, branching together with voice.
Yeah. Do you know that the original Colonel Sanders, they had problems with him?
What?
They had major problems with him. When he sold his like sort of concept and idea in the store, and then they started branching out, he was out in the public telling people that that's not my chicken. That's not my recipe. And he was very vocal about it. And he was like, this is crap. This is not good. Yeah. So they had problems with him. He would actually go around, travel the country, and go to the different restaurants and tell them how to cook the chicken. He was like, you're not cooking the chicken properly.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So he was upset, actually. He thought that they were doing a crap job. So he was going around telling, and they tried to silence him and be like, listen, bro, you can't do this. Like,
wow,
you're hurting the brand, right? So he actually had, they had problems with him.
Have you heard of the case that they wanted to buy out Papa John's or something? Or they actually bought out Papa John's from Papa John's Pizza?
They might have already bought that.
Yeah, I think they kind of bought him out as well, because they had like...
KFC's owned by a massive group that also... I think they also own Pepsi, no?
Yeah, I think it's PepsiCo.
Who owns KFC? Who owns KFC, everybody? Who owns KFC?
We need to
Who owns KFC?
We need to be able to show our screens to people.
Yum Brands. Yum Brands owns KFC.
Yum what?
Yum. They also own Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut, Wing Street. Speaking of wings. I think that's it. So it's not Pepsi. What the hell am I talking about? What the heck am I talking about?
I thought it's Pepsi.
Nope.
But actually, the fun stuff is that the Colonel just dropped his latest post, and KFC is collaborating with Old Spice now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's a good. I think that's a good one.
And then, like, you know, the Colonel is like a full-on influencer of Old Spice now.
And Dr. Pepper, wasn't it? Like also he's doing something with Dr. Pepper as well.
Yes.
So he's doing a bunch of brand ambassador stuff now. It's so fun. I think that people are already all over it. We can see that on their social media, that KFC is really running it hard.
People love this whole new persona, and like it's exciting. And actually, they made him like we checked it out with the girls from the office, and then like they kind of also said that like the persona is like pretty hot, so it resonates well with like a female audience, and on the other side it's kind of cool, so it resonates with the male audience. In terms of like positioning these virtual influencers, they're doing like an awesome job.
And if anybody's listening and wants to know how they can do their own virtual influencer, we've got some insights for you, and then we'll close off the show. But if you're looking to make your own virtual influencer, here's what you have to do. One, you actually have to find a model or an actor that's going to be the body double.
Yes.
Right? And then they need to actually take pictures in real situations. And then you CGI the face on. We've done a little bit of research, and we
the
believe
hands maybe.
Not maybe the hands so much. I'm not seeing that across them. But for the most part, when we really dig into what's actually going on here, we're seeing that's the method. That's the methodology that you take photos in, because the CGIing of the entire environment, the background,
takes away too much
effort. Other people, if there's a product placement, all that kind of stuff, like that's too much work to CGI. But doing a face is easier.
It's fairly easy. I mean, it can be done in 3 days.
Yeah, basically. And then the person who's playing the character can change over time, as long as you keep the same body type and some of the same characteristics. Then many people can play that character for many years. The voice is a bit different though. So
there is Shudugram. Shudu. She was done by I forgot his name. She was done by a 3D artist / fashion photographer. And she is now doing major collaborations with Vogue and Smart and Elise and all these like big brands. And actually the guy, I researched him a little bit, and he gave an interview, and he was like, I wanted to move away from photography, and I went to YouTube, and in 3 months I learned 3D. Then I found like this cool program that I started using, and it turned out it's pretty easy to make these influencers / CGI models.
Okay.
So now they just have a girl who's modeling. She's traveling and she's going on the shoots.
Okay, and then she's CGIing it.
Yeah. The artist is CGIing it, and then they are just like scanning all the different textures from the clothing and all that, and they are just like putting it in.
Yeah,
it's super interesting.
So do you think this is gonna grow?
I think it will grow. Yes, I think it's an emerging trend, and I already started doing my research on the whole topic before KFC would have dropped their new persona, their new brand persona. So the whole thing is kind of leading up to a conclusion that it will be a huge brand, and we are far away from the top of the iceberg.
The tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg. Yeah.
So with that, I think we'll leave it there. I want to thank everyone who's listening or listened to this podcast or saw it live on YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you got some things out of that. Subscribe to the podcast. Give us a review.
Subscribe to our YouTube as well.
Subscribe to our YouTube if you're here. Subscribe to our... we're going to make Andy into a virtual influencer soon.
That would be so dope.
So I'm just going to put Andy's face on my face. And I'm going to become Candy. Chris and Andy. Candy Kubb&co coming up. It's coming. Candy Kubb&co is coming. So stay tuned for that. So thank you so much for listening from all of us at Kubb&co. Adios, amigos.
Bye-bye.